First of all, there is no consensus among Islamic scholars on the elements which make up an Islamic state or the qualities it should possess. The Quran just stresses that there is a concept of a society more than a state. Moreover, the Quran emphasizes on the act of justice and kindness, and it strongly opposes injustice and oppression. An Islamic state is defined as a form of government primarily based on Sharia law. The tenets of Islamic law run the governance of a country politics, judiciary, education, and lifestyle. Now, let's go through the rights and duties of Islamic states. First and foremost, Islamic states have to take care of the rights of its people. In line with an ayah in the Quran that goes, "Help one another in acts of piety and righteousness. Do not assist each other in acts of transgression and sinfulness. Be aware of Allah. Truly, Allah is severe with punishment." We can conclude that the treatment of domestic and migrant workers in UAE should not happen, as they are human beings and they are working in Muslim countries after all. The treatment of migrant workers in UAE is terrible since UAE implemented the kafala system. This system contributes to the abuse against migrant workers. In fact, this system requires workers to give their passport to their employers. Thus, it ties those migrants to their employers, and the visa status is dependent on their job performance. Those who leave their employers without their knowing before the end of a contract will receive punishment such as prison or fines. To make things worse, the workers can even be removed against their will from UAE. Hence, it is tough for migrant workers to get out from the abusive situations such as long work hours, unpaid salary, violence, and even sexual abuse. Next, Islamic states are supposed to treat people equally. It does not matter what their race, color, or beliefs are. We can take a look at how Prophet Muhammad did in the early stage in Medina. He formed a blueprint of how Muslims should deal with Jews and Christians. He even granted the minority rights to different religious groups through documents, and this created a good atmosphere for the development of both spiritual and material growth. This is important for different religious groups that are living under the Islamic rule. In order to achieve and grant full rights for different religious minorities living in Medina, the Prophet initiated a historical charter named Medina Charter. Preventive measures were in place to avoid blood fights and crimes among different Arabian tribes. This method is considered as a fair treatment, and it gives full equality to those who chose not to subscribe to the Islamic view on life. Prophet Muhammad made a historical move of abolishing religious and social inequality. In light with what happened to the migrant workers in countries like Qatar and UAE, it is completely contrary to how Islamic states should be. For example, migrant workers in Qatar are facing discrimination because of their racial identity, nationality, and stereotyping. The UN Special Reporter for Racism reported that there are around 2 million migrant workers in Qatar. A big number of them are currently working on building the World Cup stadiums, and the rest are working on projects that are related to the World Cup. Thus, if Qatar has such a huge amount of migrant workers who are currently helping in building and improvise the country's economy, the authorities of Qatar should have done better instead of letting those workers being discriminated. The least you can do is protect them by not letting them being at the disadvantages. Nevertheless, they have helped you in building and pertaining your country's image. If Qatar claimed to be one of the Muslim countries, the way they treated their migrant workers showed the opposite of it, since the workers were treated badly. In essence, being kind to one another is not only applied to Muslim countries or Islamic states. It is the basic human beings. But if you claim to be an Islamic state, you should follow the guidelines on how to act like a true Islamic state, just like what you have claimed. That's all from me. Thank you.